So, collapsing the banks, all the banks in Ghana, and putting people's lives at risk, workers' life, damaging the economy. Was that the best option? The answer is no. Collapsing the banks was, as a matter of fact, the easiest option, the most laziest option. And they did that intentionally, not because they don't know what they were doing. They collapsed those banks because they were trying to protect their own cronies, their own criminal entities who caused the financial losses to these banks and to the nation. Okay, banks don't run themselves. Human beings, people that we trust, have been put in position to run these banks. Bank manager advances, or whoever is in charge advances credit and credit facilities to individuals, companies, government entities, expecting them to pay back within time. There are rules and regulations governing how to lend money to individuals, companies, government institutions. So did they follow the rules? Did they follow the laid down procedures? If they followed it, why couldn't those people pay? And if they don't pay, what are the sanctions? What do we have to do to get these guys back, to pay the money? You don't just run in there and then stop collapsing. When you do that, you are covering up for the criminals. When you collapse banks, it's just like, let me give you an example. It's just like you move up to a place and you see a person dead with his neck slit, his neck cut open, and so the person is dead. No, somebody slaughtered that person. So when you change the narrative from the person is dead to somebody killed this guy, you go after the murderers. Banks don't collapse. People who run the bank, people who borrow, people who cause financial loss to this bank, collapse the bank. So once now we know that people did in fact collapse the bank, you go after them. Now, why did they rush in collapsing this bank? Because the people who finance these parties, both big and major parties in Ghana, they went and borrowed money from these banks and they refused to pay. They don't have any intention to pay. Okay? Government entities borrowed, individuals borrowed. A whole lot of people borrow from these banks. Now, I dare the Bank of Ghana, everybody over there, to publish the name of these banks that have collapsed. Who are those entities, individuals, institutions, people who have collapsed these banks? How much did they borrow from them? Have they fulfilled their terms of repaying? And if not, what is being done to get the money back, the assets, the stolen money back? If they do publish these names, you realize that the top of the list are party financiers, people who finance these political parties. They stole from Ghana to finance these political parties. Okay? So, rushing to glorify yourself, we've collapsed, we've saved the economy because we've saved the bank, is a pack of lies. They should publish the list, every bank who borrowed from there, what entity, what organization borrowed, how much, why couldn't they pay, why did they fail to pay, what have the regulators done to get these monies back. If they do that, you realize that these are the very people who are walking around making noise, castigating each other, MPP, NDs, whatever. They are all in there. Rushing to collapse the bank means you have saved criminals. There's something you shouldn't do. Rushing to collapse the bank is one of the laziest. Finding innovative ways to save the banks. Pushing money to stabilize the bank, but then putting a condition that you're going to go after the managers, the borrowers, whoever did borrow something, and then get the money back. It's an innovative means of doing things. But you know why they will not do that? Because they know that the very person who asked them to go investigate is the very person who is owing the banks. Okay? Is the very person, the person who is making that noise, the very person who caused the financial trouble for the banks. And so they are not going to go after them. These are criminals. Okay? These are criminals who have taken over our country and they have no intention of letting go. They will come out and be saying a whole lot of things which do not make any sense at all to anybody. Okay? So the banks that they collapsed was not the most sensible thing they should do, the most sensible and prudent thing was to find ways to save these banks, save people's money, depositors' money, save workers, save those banks, but go after each and every individual who caused that trouble. Let them pay, let them be in prison, get their assets, do everything to get the money back. That would have been more prudence and now innovative ways to do.